What is the fairest way to cut a cake? How do you spill a bill equally? And how can two friends divide a grilled cheese sandwich fairly? These are problems of game theory. How to cut a cake fairly is not a simple question, and modern research into the fair cake cutting problem started in 1940s. A procedure as to how to cut a cake among three people was solved in 1960s. In 2016, Harris Aziz and Simon Mackenzie presented an envy-free cake cutting procedure or protocol, and the problem was finally solved. Now, today I'm going to talk about the fairest way to cut a cake amongst only two people and a third person. Now, first, let's look at how to divide an equal sized cake between two people. When there are two people, the problem is easy to solve. The golden rule is that the cutter cannot be the chooser. This means that if I cut, then you would choose. In this way, every person would be satisfied. Problem solved. So what happens if there's three people? Well, you can pause here and think about it. An envy-free division procedure can be found through the Selfridge-Conway procedure. Now, the Selfridge Conway procedure is named after John Selfridge and John Horton Conway in 1960s. Now, the procedure follows as suppose we have three people, person 1, person 2, and person 3. First, person 1 divides the cake into three pieces they consider of equal size. Then there will be two scenarios. Scenario 1 is suppose person 1 and person 2 chose different pieces after person 1 cuts the cake. Then the problem is solved. Everyone is happy. But if person 2 and person 3 chose the same piece, then that means they both think that the piece is the largest one. Let's call that piece A. Then we have to go through the following steps. Let person 2 trim A to make sure that it is the same size as the rest. Now A is divided into the trimmed piece A1 and the trimmed piece A2. Now, leave the trimming A2 to the side for now. Leave the trimmed A2 to the side for now. Now, since person 1 and person 2 are both cutters, person 3 will now choose a piece among A1 and the other two pieces. Remember, the cutter cannot be the chooser. Now let person 2 choose, but person 2 must choose the piece A1 if person 3 didn't choose A1. Now person 1 would choose the last piece. Now remember there is a trimmed piece A2 left. Then we have to deal with A2. Person 1 and person 2 both have a chance to eat the cake. So this time we let person 3 to cut the trimmed piece A2. Person 3 cuts A2 into three equal sizes. Person 2 chooses a size. We name it A21, and person 1 chooses a side. We name it A22. And now the person 3, the person who cut the A2, must choose the last remaining piece of A2. We name it A23. In this way, everyone is satisfied, and during this procedure, we still follow the rule that the cutter cannot be the chooser. Now, in addition to the number of people, there are other aspects that need to be considered if you want to cut a cake fairly. For example, different preferences. Different people have different understanding of the term fairness, since people may have different preferences. Say you would prefer to have more cherry on a slice or more strawberry, or if you want chocolate instead of a piece with strawberry on it. Even if that means that you would sacrifice the size of the slice. So, in such scenarios, dividing a cake fairly could be even more challenging. Having said about cutting a good cake, what about dividing a bad cake? A bad cake means the cake is not desirable. For example, let's divide a more fairly. Let's divide a cake more fairly. or a chore more fairly, it would be chore division, which is a kind of problem in which the divided thing is undesirable, so that each participant wants to get as little as possible. It is a mirror image of the fair cake cutting problem, in which the divided thing is desirable, so that each participant wants to get as much as possible. Now you see, dividing a cake fairly is not a simple problem. Now, thanks for watching. Bye.